Hey everyone, to this new video on my channel. Today we are going to talk about the heal SV, so the Warlock, and let's see how the Warlock can heal. First of all, the SV, the SW I think it's in English, is really great at healing. You can easily heal every group in Tom or so. So let's go start with the video after the intro. Yeah, first of all, for sure we should start with the character itself, so with the ratings and the race. For me, the most useful race is the Sun Elf, and yeah, because it has the attributes I want and the bonus is not that bad, so I take the Sun Elf. For sure we can take every other race if you have the attributes you want or the bonus you want. For the attributes, ability score. In German it's Attribute. In English it's ability score. Okay. You will take. I did a little bit mishup, so I completely took Dexterity to come over the 20, and the other two were Constitution and Charisma for more companion influence and recharge speed, and the Constitution for maximum hit points and action point. And Dexterity for sure is for critical surety, and you need critical surety for more critical healing, so you take it with you. And the movement speed is also great because you are faster, so you can stay with the group if we're running through LOM or something else. So let's go on with the ratings. First of all, if you have power and crit, there's a little bit difference between DPS classes and healing. So you need 25% more crit than heal, so than power. So you take your power you have in fight and add 25%, and then that's the critical strike you need. So I get to 170k power in fight through my armor and arms, and I want to upgrade some stuff, so I finally want to get to 180k power. So that's my goal, and I think that's the best you can do as a healer. So basically you also need defense, that you don't die in Tom. Mostly you focus on Tom building so that you can run the endgame dungeon. The next important thing is critical avoidance. You need to get it as high as you can, so you don't get a critical hit from the boss if you get the healer split. So if the healer split is happening, just be sure your critical avoidance is high enough so you don't kill the whole group that is staying with you. If the boss hits you critical, the whole group will die, and that's the reason why you have to get critical avoidance. And in Tom I have higher critical avoidance because in Tom I change this companion gear to this one, so I get critical avoidance also from that. But I don't have any epic version of that, so I'm still hanging with that one. So back to the character, so the gear I use. Very important is the armor and the arms. For head and feet it's just what you want. Basically, if you want more crit from that, or if you want more damage, or anything you want, so the stats you need you take from head and from the feet. And the armor and the arms should be this too. So for the arms, for the armor it's ebony stained ropes for 10% more power, and for the arms it's revived primal rage Shabbas for 5%. And yes, it's harder with a healer to get the stacks up, but it's possible and you can do it in Tom easily. In the lower dungeon it's a little bit hard to get all the stacks up but you don't need it in the lower dungeon, and in Tom you can do it because you need to heal a lot. So for the main hand you use the Lionhead weapon, or if you don't get them, you use the burnished weapons. I already got them, but I was was not motivated enough to upgrade them. So here are the Lionhead weapons. Just got it yesterday from the dungeon, so I didn't do it until now. So you use the Lionhead weapon, or if you didn't got them, you use the burnished. For neck and waist and artifacts, so the artifact set, you use basically the set you like most from the stats, or you can use the Tiamat set, but I use the set you see here for more critical strike and critical avoidance, and here also critical strike, because you really need high critical strike if you want to go with critical healing. If you don't care about critical healing, you don't need it. So for the rings I took one with critical strike and defense for the defense. Now I have a little bit too high defense, but I already got the ring and don't want to throw it away, so still have the ring on it. So the other ring is 19k critical strike, so to get the critical strike up. I know the equipment power, your melee powers do 3% more damage. It's pretty useless, but there's no other ring with that high critical strike amount. So for shirt and trousers you also take the one with the stats you need. Take one of the new ones, because the bonus of them is just great. So whenever you critical strike with your powers, you have a 10% chance to reduce your encounter power cooldowns by 1 second. So it's basically the best you can get at the moment. For the artifacts I use the new ones in here for the secondary artifacts. So armor penetration, critical strike is here the focus, so the Wyvern Venom coated knives. It's also great for the buff, so if in Tom or something you need the buff, you can take that. So for the next one, Staff of Flower for 3000 power and 1500 critical strike. And it's also nice to have. Next one is Drobian's Ring for 3000 power again and 1500 defense and 1500 critical strike. And the primary artifact could be Lantern of Revelation for the buff for the group, or like I said, the knives here, or if you're a little bit short on healing, you can take the Sigil of a Paladin for more healing of the group. So some Warlocks have problem with healing the second boss, and if you have problem with that, you can take the Sigil of a Paladin, because then you don't really need to do anything for healing, because it heals so much. So let's go on to the powers. For the Advilts I use Soul Reconstruction. It's just for healing the tank, to heal one person, and in Tom you always need it after the tank takes one orb, because the tank then gets a lot of damage from the boss, because they don't use their shields there to get the shield back ready when the next orb is coming. So you need Soul Reconstruction to heal them easily, but it's just for one person, so keep that in mind. The next one is Essence de Villa. It's just for some more damage, and also to get lesser curse on the enemies. For the encounters I use Pillar of Power for the group buff, so they do 5% more damage and they get healed for 20 magnitude every second. And yourself, you deal 10% more damage and your healing is increased by 10%. So if you're standing in that, it's just great. And also always use it by the boss, so where your allies are standing, so you can give them the 10%, the 5% buff. The next encounter is Shader Spark. It's your main healing and your basically only healing power, which is healing the whole group. So you just need to be sure that the allies that you want to heal are around 50 feet, so you can heal them, and then you just basically push the button and all in 50 feet radius are getting your healing, and the healing is pretty good, so you're basically only using that. The other powers are not that good that you should or could use them. The last encounter I use is Hada's Grasp. It's just for some more damage, so yeah, because there is nothing you really want from the other powers. So for the daily, I use Accursed Souls and Immolation Spirits. Immolation Spirits is the one I mainly use for the boss or for anything. I just use that because I like it, to have some more companions next to me. For the class features, it's like I said before, the all-consuming curse for the lesser curse on any enemy with the Attil powers. Because with the other class feature, you're reducing the damage your allies take from the enemy by 5%, so the target is doing 5% less damage, which is great for Tom, for example. To take 5% less damage all the time is just a nice feature. So for the feats, I use Essence of Power for Essence Drain. Now has 15-second cooldown, unaffected by cooldown reduction, but grants 15 soul sparks immediately and does heavy damage. Before a time I used Essence of Time, because I thought that the other one is not giving enough soul sparks. But in fact, you don't need more than that. You never get out of healing. Mainly, if you heal enough with one hit, you should not get out of heal. And it's way better than the other, because you don't need to stand somewhere for like an hour and get your soul sparks back. So it's just one short attack and you have your soul sparks. So the next one is Mending Mastery for more outgoing healing. Then Lingering Sustain for each time your powers heal an ally or yourself, they are granted Lingering Sustain. Lingering Sustain heals for 150 magnitude over 6 seconds, so it's just for a healing over time. Next one is From the Brink. As your life diminishes, you gain up to 10% increased incoming healing. So yeah, you get 10% incoming healing increased if you're getting damaged, so you don't die in any weird situations. And the last one is Spark Energy. Powers that consume a soul spark generate 10% more action point. So you get more action points. Yay. So let's get to the boons. The boons are pretty easy. Just take the power, just take the HP like always, and always be sure you have the increased movement speed by 2.5% per rank, so 5 ranks you have, and the increased companion influence by 2%. And I also took here critical strike and critical avoidance, because that are the two stats I don't have so much. And the next tier 5 boon is increasing critical severity by 1% per rank, so it's just more outgoing healing if I crit. And the other one is increase outgoing healing bonus by 1% per rank, so you do 4% more healing. So master boon, choose one. its life lesson. For return a portion of your damage done back to you as a heal over time. And you do some add damage on the enemies, so you just take it and hope it works. For the guild boon, you take the power, the HP, and utility. You can take the mount speed increase, or for Tom, most of the players use reduce the effects of resurrection sickness stacks. A weird word for me. And the last players per player boon is just, yeah, you don't really care about that. For the companions, I use bonding runestones. Who guessed that? And for the companion equipment, just use the one with critical strike for more critical strike. And when critical strike and awareness, I change that, like I said, to the critical strike and critical avoidance one. And the last one is defense and critical strike. And in the offensive slot, I use empowered runestone R15 for 1320 power. And I just forgot it. In the character, you use the, what it's called, the lightning and the radiant enchantment in the offensive slot. The black eyes you also can use in the offensive slot if you don't get to the critical strike or you just have them. They are also okay. And in the defense slot, just use how we called? Nope. Dark enchantment, R15. If you're running Tom, use tactical enchantments in head, arms, feet, neck, and waist. And for the main hand, you use Warple enchantment, R15. I also have 2 Tenebros enchantment for more damage on enemies, because they're just great, and I had 2 laying around, so I use them, because this char is for me an alt char, so it's not my main char. I just gave him some stuff I have left, so it's, yeah, the old stuff of my main char, to be clear. And for the armor enchantment, just use the bark shield for more survival, don't know, so you don't die that easy, I think. I don't know the English word of that. So let's go on with the companions. You have Baby's Deep Core Presence for 8k power, the Raptor for 10k power bonus, and here the Guard, the Never Ember Guard, for if it's on legendary 10% outgoing healing bonus, and the Baby Polar Bear for 10% outgoing healing bonus. You also use it as a summon companion for increased critical strike and awareness and power. You basically just want the critical strike and the power. And the last one, it depends if you're running Tom or anything else. For 32k maximum hit points, or the 10% outgoing healing from the Sellsword. So just choose one of the 2. If you have enough HP, just take the 10% extra outgoing healing. If you don't have enough HP, take the maximum hit points. So for the mount, I use the Imperial Rage Dragon for the 10k critical strike. If you have more legendary mounts on your character, get a Griffin or a T-Rex for the buff or debuff of the group. So the T-Rex to make your damage dealer deal more damage, so the boss gets more damage. And the Griffin that the boss don't give us that much damage, so you lower the boss damage. For the insignias, I use barbed insignias only, so for more critical strike, because, like I said, you need 25% more critical strike than power. And the insignia bonuses are magistrate patent, I don't know how it's called, but you can read it, so it's not that bad, I think. Victim's resurrection, champion's return, shepherd's devotion, and gladiator's skull. So they are the insignia bonuses you should use in this layout. So yeah, basically it's all with the Warlock healing. For rotation, there is no rotation, you just put the circle under the enemy and where your allies are standing. If the group needs healing, just use the heal power, otherwise you just attack the enemy like a normal player. I hope my English was understandable, because I have not that much time. I won't record this one 3000 times for better English and rethinking everything. And I hope it's also okay with that bad English here. And if you have any suggestions for a next video or want to see anything more, just write it in the comments. The DPS S3, so the DPS Warlock, is coming this weekend. And when the Warlock is also finished with the builds. If you want anything special, just write it in the comments. Or if you want to see anything else, like not Neverwinter's things, you also can write it in the comments. And yeah, I hope we will see you at the next video. If you like the videos, just leave a like. And if you want to leave an abo, I don't know, a follow, it's called in English, yeah. If you want to follow us, it's also great. You also can join our Discord for more informations, and I think the writing in English is better than the talking English, so if you want to know something, I will answer you directly in Discord. So see you next time. I just talked too much, and hope you have a nice weekend or evening or something else.